الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن الناس والدواب والأنعام مختلف ألوانه كذلك إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء إن الله عزيز غفور. إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية يرجون تجارة لن تبور ليوفيهم أجورهم ويزيدهم من فضله إن الله غفور شكور. صدق الله العظيم.
Dear Principal, guests, teachers and students, we wholeheartedly welcome you to Al-Butين Science Fair, where the students' passion, innovation and creativity in the field of science are reflected in their masterpieces that they share with you to escort you on a short journey of exploration and discovering domains you have not been aware of. Every project and experiment in this fair is the fruitful product of the students' long hours of research, testing and failing, and then testing to reach success. It's in reality the product of cooperative learning, enthusiasm, and hard work. So, we're honored to celebrate the successful work of our students who one day will be the noble representatives of the UAE, the country that empowers them, guides them, and leads them to be the future leaders and serve the country's goals in the fields of science, exploration, and innovation. Before starting our enjoyable journey, I'd like to have sincere thanks to the school's administration, head of department, our committed teachers, and before everyone, the students, the blooms of the future.
Our project is mainly about blood clots, which form inside our blood vessels. the amount of strokes and heart attacks in UAE is a bit high. So doctors usually give their patients anticoagulants. These anticoagulants, okay, cause the blood to leak, to not form blood clots. Okay, the forming of blood clots inside the blood vessels may cause strokes and such diseases. But when doctors give their patients anticoagulants, which increase the amount of calcium in the blood vessels, may cause diseases such as hemophilia, another type of diseases. Okay, this hemophilia means when someone is hurt himself or something, or injured, the blood will leak too much. So it's not good for his health. Okay? Yeah.
I asked a question about what if the medication is not suitable for the patient? Is there any alternative to keep the person or the patient from suffering from these clots?
Yes.
A natural way, let's say.
Yeah, there's no natural way, but they mostly use operations to replace the artery or the vein that's responsible for this stroke or heart attack.
Okay, what is the prevention way?
Prevention is like, for example, you should go medical checkups, regular checkups because the stroke or the heart attack doesn't appear in once. You should have some checkups before.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
So our experiment is testing different types of antacids. We focused on the synthetic antacids and the natural antacids. On the first, we started by we collect the different kinds of synthetic acid like lithium and calcium. And for the natural antacids, we used the chamomile and everything, anything that you want to measure it as a synthetic, we use like ginger, cinnamon, and other types. Then we divided them to two main parts to measure their pH.
Okay.
First we measured them, we measured their normal pH, then we measured them after with the HCl. As you can see here, the graph shows the details, how is the results. As you can see, these are the samples. We concluded that the synthetic antacids are effective. They are like if you have like acidity, and it's extremely important, you have to use the synthetic antacids. But if you're a person that always having acidity, I suggest you do not use synthetic all the time because it's harmful.
In what way? In what way is it
harmful? These types of these synthetic acids, they produce or they have chemical composition that cannot be decomposed. Digested.
Yeah.
So these
they will be excreted.
Exactly.
They will be excreted.
So no, they actually what they does they digest the protein of the stomach wall. So it's harmful, and it can also damage the other organs.
Okay.
So it's like using it daily is like it's dangerous.
Okay.
So it's better always in these cases to use natural antacids.
Okay.
As you can see, natural antacids are better. Why? Yes, their effectiveness for the acidity is less than the synthetic acids.
Yeah.
But in case you need to use it daily, I prefer you use natural synthetic.
Which of the natural, antacids are highly recommended for people to use?
Synthetic acid?
No, natural. Natural.
Yeah, from our results.
Highly recommended.
From the results that we concluded, we found the mixtures. We had mixture of chamomile and ginger.
Okay.
Because ginger and chamomile, what they does that they increase the pH and so they decrease the acidity. So together they're really good.
So these are better than like the soya milk and better than the cinnamon and a green tea according to your experiments,
exactly.
right?
We found that we measured, like you can see, 3 types. We have the composition, we have the normal, the stuff that they independently alone stuff, and then we have the synthetic. We found that the compound are more.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Thanks, girls.
So our project is changing the light paradigm. Our hypothesis, our question first, how does the intensity of light change when when we measure the distance of the light? Our hypothesis is that we think the intensity increases as the distance go far from the screen. Our project was that we will measure the distance of the light on the screen, and we will see the intensity of it, if it will increase or it will decrease. The materials that we use, two light bulbs. The first one is 100 watt and the second is 60 watt. And also we used a ruler, a wood ruler that measure the distance of the light. And we used also a screen so that we'll see the light, it will become bigger when the distance of the light will be more far. When we measured the light, when the light was on the screen, it's so near, it was small, and the light was its intensity was clear. When the distance is becoming far, the intensity of the light will be fade and it will decrease. Also we made another model. The second model is using the tube bulb also. We used a convex lens for the 100 watt bulb that will tell the next generation that we have to use the more watt than the less watt. So we'll have more light and more power. Like we can use one bulb instead of many bulbs. It has to be
How is
increased.
this applicable in places in the UAE? How do they utilize this idea?
Like in Burj Khalifa,
Okay.
they used 100 watts instead of some other watts, like 30 or 60 or under. It gives Burj Khalifa more light, and it was so.
And how is this connected to the idea of distance in Burj Khalifa? You said that you experimented how the distance affects the intensity of the light bulb.
Yes,
right?
as the person is far away from Burj Khalifa, the light is so faint.
So faint. So
Yeah.
it will look bright
When-
but not shiny.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Our project is about light bulbs when they produce heat. And when we experimented with 4 different light bulbs with different watts, we got different results each time. So, for example, when we experimented with a 25 watt light bulb, we got 18 degrees Celsius. But when we experimented with when we experimented with a higher watt light bulb, we got a higher temperature. So our materials that we used was a lamp and a thermometer and different light bulbs, like a 25 watt in a light bulb and a 100 watt light bulb.
Same type of bulb or different types of bulbs?
The 25 watt and the 100 watt are same type, which they are incandescent light bulb.
Okay.
However, we experimented with 2 different fluorescent light bulbs. So we have our material that we use here, which was a lamp and the thermometer we used from the physics lab. And what we did first was we put the lamp on, we put the light bulb into the lamp and we turned it on. And we waited around a minute for it to heat up, and we took a thermometer and placed it 6 inches above and waited a minute as well to see the heat that we
Look at us, Mom. Look at us.
and the heat that we got from them. So, like when we then we did it again with the other light bulbs, and each one produced a different result. Like here, we have the 25 light bulb watt. It produced 25 degrees Celsius, and the 100 light bulb produced 33 degrees Celsius, and then the 25 fluorescent light bulb produced 18 degrees Celsius.
Could you tell us about your conclusion about your project? What do you conclude?
Yes, we concluded that the higher the watt of the light bulb was, the higher the temperature of it was.
Okay.
And the lower it was, the lower the temperature.
So what's the point?
So the point is that when we have a light bulb and it's a higher watt, it will produce more heat, and this heat can help, and like this energy can help, can help in the future city, which is our main point.
So your recommendations? Can you tell us about your recommendation about the future city? Your recommendations. You recommend us? Advise us about?
Yes. Use light bulbs that produce less energy.
Such as?
Fluorescent.
You know?
Fluorescent.
Okay.
Or prioritize the scientific reasons. This is why it's very important for us. We learn many things from our science fair because it's very important, and our school actually pays more attention to the scientific things. Therefore, we actually have so much fun while doing the science fair because it's so much. We learn so many new things that we never learned before. Therefore, I will present for you our project from What Did We Learn. This is our project. Our project talks about the ability of cinnamon and curry oil to control the bacteria growth. Because of course you've heard before that it's good to put cinnamon in your food, it's good to put curry in your food, but has it been scientifically proven? We don't know that yet. So we did an experiment, if you want to take a look in the file, about controlling the growth. We brought, our hypothesis was yes, it does control the growth. So what we did is we brought petri dishes here, and we took cotton swabs and we exposed them to any bacteria things, and then we put them on the petri dish. We put one control dish so we can calculate the amount, and the cinnamon oil and curry oil in one dish. We kept them for 5 days. Here we can see the data. We kept them for 5 days, and this is what we found. We checked on them twice a day. The control dish, and the end of the 5th day, we found that we had 29 bacteria. But for the curry oil and the cinnamon oil, we only had 11 bacteria and 9 bacteria. Therefore, it was proven that our hypothesis was correct. So here we found out that it's actually really good for us, and this is how we related it to UAE. We related it by, we can actually put food, this is, we actually can put inside our food some cinnamon, like chicken curry or these healthy food, or we can use the cleaning detergents, and we can actually add some cinnamon or curry inside them, as we just did here. It's a homemade one, but this is the first step to take.
It's a detergent, right?
Yes, it's a sanitizer, and we added some cinnamon essences to it and some curry essences. This is how we got it. It's a first step to starting a new brand.
I have a question. Since
Yes.
you said that cinnamon is good as a
Yes.
preservative, so how can we use it to preserve other foods? Although you know that the flavor of cinnamon
Yes.
is very strong, so eventually it will affect
Yes.
you know how the other food tastes.
That
Although
tastes
it's
like-
proven
yes.
that it's like prevent the growth of bacteria, but the taste will be very strong and it will dominate you know the other
Yes.
flavors. How can we control this
Maybe we
issue?
can actually find another ingredient that can cancel out the flavor of cinnamon
What
inside
do you
it.
think of? Such as
To be honest, I'm not quite sure of that, but maybe any other cinnamon, any other spices that has the same strong flavor
or
as
stronger
cinnamon.
flavor
Or
like
stronger,
ginger, for
exactly.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you very much.
So our experiment, our topic is about gel electrophoresis. Gel electrophoresis, it's a technique used to separate DNA and RNA molecules in crime scenes to find who did the crime, like to find the culprits. So we did an experiment. We did our own chamber and we put different DNA, different food coloring dyes. It was here the negative charge and the positive charge. The dyes were charged, and we put them so they can attract to the other charge. And we noticed that when they have low mass, they travel faster in time, and when they have like they have a big mass, they take long time to separate. But not all of them move because some of them are already positive charged, so they attract to the negative, and the negative charges they attract to the positive charge. We can apply it in UAE. She's gonna explain how.
In United Arab Emirates, when a crime scene is committed, we usually collect evidence like blood, fingerprints, hair, and then we actually put them through the technique, and here we get the DNA. We compare the DNA to know who committed the crime.
Explain the way it works when you are using it from the sample, either blood, hair, let's say traces of bones, whatever. How does it work? Because you said about how it works in liquids rather than in light liquids. So explain how does it work?
It works because the chamber is already an electric field, and the dyes are already charged. The dyes are already charged, so they move by their charges, and when they move, we extract it and we extract the DNA, and we find out, we compare them with different DNAs, and we find these fingerprints or hair or blood belongs to who.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to our group. Today we're going to be talking about how to turn water or displace water into renewable fuel. Well, that's a very simple thing. That's not a very simple thing in your own opinion, but it's actually really simple. As you can see, as the population is growing nowadays, it's really hard to sustain the ability of the water to stay and the available resources to not be all used up. So water here is a renewable resource. The most abundant water in our earth is salt water, which is not really commonly used, as we all know. So the compound water can actually produce many things, many renewable things, many resources, natural resources that actually can help sustain our lives. So in digging right into that, we have, before doing our experiment, we have some obstacles that actually didn't let us start our experiment to displace water into renewable energy or fuel. So some of the obstacles were, I give it to her.
One of the obstacles that we really had so much difficult time searching and finding the right materials for our experiment. One of them was really hard to find was the diagnosed water, which is battery water. We didn't find it in our school lab, so we had to go on our website and search for it. But we didn't find the diagnosed water and also on the website, so we used distilled water instead.
We had two projects, step 1 and step 2. Step 1 we have to use the Hoffman to do the process electrolysis. We have to use the Hoffman to make a process called electrolysis. Is when we have different waters to see the ionize. Okay, so we have hydrogen and oxygen, negative and positive. And then at the end we saw that the hydrogen has produced more ionized, so its rate of working is higher.
Okay. So why in your opinion you said that the salt water is more efficient to produce, to generate energy? Why do you think this is the more efficient kind of water to generate energy?
This is a perfect question actually. This is the most efficient type of water. First, it's most abundant. Second, it has a concentration of high saliness or saltiness. The more saltiness it has means more ions. More ions means it can produce efficient and reproductive energy. Now for part 2,
more electricity also.
Yeah. What about the future city? How can we utilize this technique in the future city in the UAE?
well, as you can see, water is not only used for fuel for cars, it can be used for many things. You can see that solar power and the hydraulic power and wind power is actually another sources of natural resources to take renewable things from them. But solar power works at night. It doesn't work at night, it works at daylight. And wind power, some countries don't have wind power. Hydraulic power actually can harm aquatic organisms. So the best thing is the spacing water into energy. Some of the energy that can be used is the water can be used in some energies.
Yes, also it could be less harmful for the environment or the people that live in a country, because fuels is how we use it nowadays is harmful how we produce fuel. But water is a renewable resource, so it will be less harmful for the environment, so that will not affect that much for the environment.
Thank you very much.
Albertine Science Fair. It helped me enhance my creativity skills and the mindset of the experiments and everything. Like, for example, I never was able to solve problems that easily before starting the science fair and experimenting the stuff going on. So after doing this, the science fair and everything, it helped me provoke my skills and my mental and physical capabilities. For that reason, I'm so proud to be part of the Albertine School and be part of this big science fair. It was part of the cooperative learning and the enthusiasm and hard work given by us all, the students and the school and the teachers.
Today we're going to talk about rheumatism. Rheumatism, it's a muscular disease which attack your joints in finger, hands and knees. In our experiment, we had take a survey with a rheumatism patient. We had checked her lifestyle, how it changed before rheumatism and after rheumatism. She took the methocrate medicine, which made lots of effects on her body, such as nausea, vomiting, and the most important effect was that red cell blood was going low, which made our patient to take also
Iron or hemoglobin? Iron.
Folic acid. Folic acid. Yeah, and as you see, the bones change from the normal joint to the rheumatism. It's have more inflammation.
Use a model.
Yeah, and in our experiment, we also did as many experiments. We had put a bone in cola, and we had see how it's changed. It became smaller and very dark black, and this is also show that cola affects your bones. To avoid the rheumatism and reduce the amount of it, you have to get exercise, be more healthy, take your vitamin D and calcium vitamins always.
What is the main cause of rheumatism other than like drinking cola? Because there are many people who are like, patients suffering from rheumatism, but they are not, people who drink cola, they have good lifestyle. What would be a good, a main reason?
It comes mostly from genetics, from parents sometimes, and it also when your immune system sometimes attacks your bone, and this is a problem in your immune system which will cause more disease amount.
Okay.
So we have to exercise always, and in UAE many hospitals take the idea of rheumatism, and many people they give the best advance and medication for the patient in the UAE, and lots of hospitals such as Med Clinic and Cleveland, Virgin, they all take care about the bones, and lots of people from other countries come to UAE just to take this treatment.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Now you mentioned that you did a survey.
Yeah.
For whom you did it?
For a patient, my friend relative. She had
one patient?
Yeah.
Was it a survey or an interview?
Interview.
Interview. Yes.
Our question is about how to get rid of carbon dioxide in a classroom. Have you ever thought about having a classroom, an effective classroom that is carbon dioxide free? Well, through our experiment and analysis, we were able to produce a scrubber. This scrubber, it consists of calcium chloride and calcium oxide, okay? Our scrubber, through the scrubber, the calcium dioxide will be absorbed in the classroom.
We hypothesized by using calcium chloride and calcium oxide we can reduce the carbon dioxide in classroom. We aim to create an effective classroom without carbon dioxide by using the scrubber, which is calcium chloride and calcium oxide, and to help our environment because this causes dizziness for the students, and also it causes global warming, which by increasing CO2, the global warming increases.
How are you going to design it in a good way to place it in a classroom? I don't think that this is an effective way of just placing it in a classroom just to absorb the carbon dioxide. What equipment would you develop?
Well, we aim in the soon future, we aim to develop our scrubber so that it can be used even at homes, not only in schools.
In what way? In what shape? I'm asking about the way of presenting it. The technique, we got it. How are you going to present it? Just like this? We put it in like this as if it's
a pot or something?
In a pot. You need to design it in a presentable way. Just like, how the air freshener are designed.
Yes.
Are you willing to do this design?
Yes, we are willing. We are looking for. We are trying to find some new ways to put it so that even kids won't even harm kids.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. This is the point.
So it's suitable for every environment, even in the classroom and school and houses.
So this is the extension for you in the second term?
Yes.
Yes?
Inshallah.
For your project?
Okay.
We started our experiment by using different amount of calcium chloride, putting in each container, and we had a controlled calcium oxide in each container, and we found out that as the calcium chloride increased,
the calcium, the carbon dioxide that is absorbed will increase, and we use the titration method to see like the if it was weak acid, and we found out that it was weak acid in the container, and we used the solvent, we mixed it with water, and we used the solvent to produce electricity.
How did you measure the amount of carbon dioxide in the classroom? What tool did you use? Because you did an experiment, so you should use something. How did you measure the amount of carbon dioxide in the class?
Actually, we kept on measuring it with the balance.
What weighing? What did you use to measure it? What's the tool? I cannot measure carbon dioxide by sniffing it. I need to use a tool.
After performing the experiment, we used stoichiometry, which is calculation. We used the mass of the calcium chloride because it was known. We used it and we converted to moles to find the mole of the unknown.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about light resistance. The light resistance is the device that detects the presence of an object. It's found in the parking lots when a thief comes in. For example, in a museum, you put the sensor to detect when a thief comes in and breaks the glass. It takes out a noise. In the parking lots, for example, the lights on the parkings, it sends when a car parks in, it turns red that it's taken. Our question is, how does the resistance of an LDR change with the light intensity and distance? And our hypothesis is as the distance between the LDP and the bulb increases, the resistance decreases.
Okay. So this technique is already used in UAE?
Yeah, it's already used in UAE.
What's the idea? What's the advantage? What is the adding from your car?
Okay, for future applications, we looked up for things that are not really now exist in UAE, especially here or in the Gulf area. We found that there is something that people might need in the future, which is automatic people counter. It's used in auditoriums and theaters. So, for example, when you have certain number of seats or limited seats, once people get in, the light detects the number of people every time, and it shows when the number, like it's khalas, done or full. Okay, so this is the circuit we used. We used this circuit, but it did not work. In fact, because this needs a light bulb that is 220 volt, which is very dangerous to use. So due to safety issues, we did not use this, but we searched for the applications and we did the experiment.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.